Hey, I'm tidying up a little here because I want to talk to you, mom to mom, about our teenage daughters. First, because that conversation is going to take a minute, I need to charge my phone. So I don't own a power bank. I'm sorry, I'm that person. Because every time I get one, somebody takes it. So I walk around with this thing. I do. Okay, so charging, wonderful. How are you? Are you good? Can you imagine we're at the end of the year? A year is just gone. I hope you're still doing everything you need to do to keep yourself and your family safe, which means clean hands, the mask doesn't come off when you are around people, and social distance is important. We can't live, without people, but we've got to maintain that distance. It's very important. I can't preach. You've seen the numbers. I wanted, the reason I was tidying up is a friend of mine has just left. We had a meeting, we talked Biashara, then we talked COVID, of course. Then, as you would, we got round, we talked about men, and then, of course, we got to our children. Where's the lie? Okay. Her daughter is 14. Nduku is going to be 10. But Nduku has always been 6 going on 18. And she asked me, this thing that you've been talking about, Sky Girls, what's that? And my daughter seems interested. And then we both logged on. So did it. I actually went to skygirlske.com and we both went on. Can you imagine? That's what we did, because somehow, subliminally for me, I thought that because the billboards were up, the IG is up, the website is up, you were just going to go and find the stuff and figure out whether it's something you're comfortable with, that your daughter is getting into. And I'd already told you, it's a safe space. And I'm big on safe spaces. You know me like that. Okay, fine. However, I realized I need to articulate what drew me to Sky Girls when I did that first letter to my 16-year-old self. Remember I said I wish something like this had existed when I was 16? Okay. So Sky Girls is a supportive community of positive peers. And this community would help our daughters figure out who they are, follow their passions, and remain resilient in the face of external pressure. Please try and remember that we were once teenagers, and if you think that our times were trying, please magnify that by at least 100%. It's tougher for our daughters because it's not just the external pressure being their friends, their peers. It is everything that is online. And it doesn't matter whether it's on a phone, on a tablet, or just on their laptop. It's a lot of information. So number one, it's the fact that it is a supportive community of positive peers, okay? And who are very interested in helping our girls navigate this period of their lives. But follow your passion, remain resilient, and figure out who you are. That for me is very key and core to why I was even interested in Sky Girls. But also, I find that as a parent, I believe this is exactly the kind of platform our daughters need, because it will help us in teaching them how to be self-possessed and capable people. If you know me well enough, you know one of my biggest gripes is the fact that women rarely have agency, not over their work, their bodies, their lives, their money. It's like, everybody else needs to tell you and validate what it is you do with everything, your hair, your nails, your life, your clothes, how high the high heel is. No. And that's what I'm liking. I'm liking the fact that there's a space in which a young girl, a young lady can learn how to be self possessed and how to be capable, especially when it comes to herself. So it continues to give foundation to what it is I tell her, to what it is you tell her. And I think because it's a really noisy world that often tells them to be anything other than themselves, if there's one thing I liked about what I would call the thinking, the ethos, the lifeline, because there's a baseline that runs through everything, is that first be true to you. And so as Catherine was sitting here and we logged on to skygirlske.com and we looked through, and then she told me there's the magazine. It said the first issue is out. The one thing we both did like was the pledge, because it's very, very simple. But when you say it in your head, in the voice of a teenager, it's good, because it says, I promise to be true to myself and what I believe in. To be who I am, not who someone else thinks I should be. There's some grown women who need to say this pledge to themselves, I will stay loyal to the things I'm all about, like my friends, music, and finding my own path. Like my friends, my social media, my reading, my diet, so there are a lot of things out of this pledge that we could borrow as grown women. And stay away from the things I know I'm good without. The backstabbing and the bad company, preach. And I'm saying this as a grown woman. Because knowing what's my thing and what's not my thing makes me who I am. I will make choices that are true to me. I promise to find my sky. I know. So, if the pledge is anything to go by, then Mom, you cannot tell me that you don't feel that there's a place here that almost helps the conversation you're trying to have with her, that tries to mold and shape without being uncool what it is you're saying, you see? So for me, Sky Girls KE is good because it's not just a safe space, it is a robust space and a vibrant space. And in the magazine, the first issue, there's 10 signs of being true to yourself. My favorite 5 are, you are a girl who speaks her mind. This does not mean you're rude or jarring or annoying. You just speak your mind, okay? You always keep it 100% with yourself. You know what's your thing and what's not your thing. That's very important. I loved, you follow your gut. You know me, I've always said my gut is seldom wrong. And I say, yes, it's here, but it's that little feeling you get in the back of your neck, the ticklies, that thing. And if we had learned how to trust our gut earlier, as women, and not second guess ourselves, think about how far it would be. We began to listen to our gut later on in life, okay? You try to be your best self, I like that. And you allow yourself to change your mind when you realize something wasn't right for you. Yes, because how long as moms, as grown women, do we stick to something? And it's not even ego, it's not vanity, it's just like, Najua, all that time that I've spent on this, no. Somebody should have told us when we were 13, 14, 15, 16, that you are allowed to change your mind when you realize something isn't right for you. And get out. Otherwise, we are sentencing our daughters to live the life their grandmothers lived. And that's not fair. So, thanks to the conversation I had, I'm happy to say that I finally crystallized why, from the day Nduko pointed to the first billboard on Limuru Road to me and told me, Mom, what's Sky Girls? And I said, I don't know, but I'll check. And then I checked, and it triggered me to write that first letter to my 16-year-old self. Remember that letter? I can say now, after this many weeks, what I said then. I wish there had been something like this when I was 16. Okay? You got me? Good. Take care. Me and my phone are about to make a few phone calls and go home. I've got to do mental maths with my daughter today. COVID times.
No one's gonna stop me, long as up I know and that's above me. No, I'm not gonna stop, cause I aim for the top, yeah, yeah. No one's gonna stop me, long as up I know and that's above me.